Hi everyone, I'm Claire, co-founder of Sequinova. We are pioneering the next generation of sparkle materials at scale for the fashion and cosmetics industry. In fashion, this looks like the sparkle sequin textile I'm wearing right now. And in cosmetics, think of the glittering pigments in every single makeup item sold today. The planet is burning, so why sparkle? Because we now know that microplastics are a huge threat to our ecosystems and global health. And the textiles and cosmetics industry are responsible for 35% of microplastics worldwide. Sparkle materials are made from plastic, metals, and synthetic colorants, none of which biodegrade in the natural environment. Our biodegradable alternatives exist to eradicate and replace these materials altogether. And the time really is now. Both the cosmetics and fashion industry are under huge pressure to phase out these materials. Starting in cosmetics, in 2022, the EU banned plastic glitter. In a panic, the industry shifted en masse to a mined mineral called mica, known to be mined on the other side of the world by children. This is a ticking time bomb, and the industry knows it. In fashion, the ESPR legislation is kicking in, meaning that fashion companies are now fully responsible for the end of life of every single garment that they produce. What fashion companies tell me every day is that they know categorically that they need to phase out plastic or face crippling penalties. And the number one thing that has to go, sequins. A $15 billion industry set to almost double in the next decade, now at risk. Our bio-based alternative looks, feels, and performs exactly like the real thing. This is, in fact, a close-up of our material, and I am wearing our material, and you wouldn't know. Our material looks, feels, and performs exactly the same as plastic, which means that it requires absolutely no consumer behavioral change. Not only that, it's also a direct plug-in to industry, meaning that it requires no manufacturing behavioral change either. Both are critical for mass industry adoption. The material is made from cellulose extracted from wood and bioengineered proteins, which, mixed with our color tech, gives the illusion of a high-gloss plastic. It's all very clever. But the superpower really lies in our plug-in supply chain, which has meant that we've been able to scale quickly, cheaply, and effectively. We have a clear plan to get to price parity in under 2 years, and already at MVP scale, we're already priced commercially. It takes quite a special group of people to pull this off. This is us, a mighty team of 3. That's me, Claire. I started my career in China, in fashion sourcing and manufacturing. Last year, I teamed up with my co-founder, Mark, who has built, scaled, and sold biotech companies over the last 30 years, and Agna, our head of operations, who keeps everything on track. Last year, we were the underdogs. This year, we're first to market in fashion, making us the ones to beat. This is the Sequinova material on the Paris Fashion Week runway just a few weeks ago with Stella McCartney. For those of you who don't know, Stella McCartney really is the industry reference for next generation materials. When Stella jumps, the rest of the industry follows. And we're not just on the catwalk, we're commercializing with her at the end of this year, meaning we've beaten the biomaterials timeline by years. Oh yeah, that's me at Paris Fashion Week, posing. That's Stella, that's me with Stella, having a whale of a time. And she told me, and I quote, "Without you, I'm screwed." Now, if Stella is saying that black on white, the rest of the industry is thinking it and feeling it too, which is why we have a long list of international fashion brands queuing up to sample and adopt our material. Our go-to-market strategy is to start with luxury fashion and in the next 12 months move to mid and mass industry fashion as we scale. And once we've achieved international cosmetic certification, to move into the cosmetic space as well. We've done this until now with no funding, entirely bootstrapped, which is why It is time. We are raising $1.5 million to reach full commercialization on the fashion vertical, to really accelerate our commercialization and to expand into the beauty vertical with a total addressable market of $18 billion. I'm Claire, co-founder of Sequinova. We're putting the shine back into sparkle. Thanks so much.
Well done. Claire, thank you very much indeed. Okay, time for the Q&A, and the code is back up on the screen if you'd like to submit your question. Let's kick off with one. I don't know why you'd want to move on from Stella McCartney telling you you're saving her from being screwed, but how do you move on from fashion runways to scale up globally?
Absolutely. So our supply chain is designed to plug into multiple third-party manufacturers, which means that we're already at semi-industrial scale. So it really is just a case of securing those orders, passing all the tests, and selling, which I'm leading. So far it's been going all right.
Good, glad to hear it. Okay, first question in from the audience. Are you able to replicate colours and shine that traditional sequins have?
Yes, but we are currently slightly limited on colour range. That's one of the things that we're doing. We need our fundraise for is to develop new colours. Our colours are water and heat resistant, which is why the cosmetics industry is desperate for them. It's very difficult to achieve water and heat resistance while being bio-based. So we've achieved it with black. We now need to do the rest of the primary colours and refine our metallic effects.
Brilliant. Okay, moving on. How much cellulose is used per kilogram and how large is the carbon impact?
You mean per kilogram? Oh, this is getting quite technical now. I will answer it. Do you mean kilogram of finished textile? Do you mean kilogram of film? Okay, per kilogram of film, we would use, so 60% of that would be cellulose. And how large is the carbon impact? We're currently measuring that as we speak, and doing a very holistic approach. And it's not just carbon emissions, but also microplastics, microfibers, how they perform in the environment. So far, they're passing ecotoxicology, which is a relief. We always knew it would, but it's good to have the data. So we're not just measuring carbon, we're measuring the whole thing.
Okay. Moving on, are there applications beyond fashion?
Yes, absolutely. Cosmetics is the obvious one for our colour and our glittering pigments as well. The Sequinova material is a composite material, so every layer of the material has its own unique IP, which in and of themselves actually do disrupt other industries. So namely our bio-based adhesive, which is water and heat resistant, is definitely gaining the interest of a very large furniture company, which I will not name, and our pigments is also interesting, a very large toy cube company that I will not name. So yes.
Brilliant, okay. Moving on, what happens at the end of life for Sequinova products?
So it depends where they end up. We would love for them to be recycled. We've built recyclability into our textiles. We would love for that to happen, but the reality is that post-consumer waste and fashion is just not recycled. So they will end up in incineration or landfill, and that's just a structural flaw in this industry. In landfill, they will biodegrade in 2 to 3 years. A normal sequin textile would take centuries, and when incinerated, they emit far less carbon emissions than a traditional plastic sequin. So we would love to be able to be in a world where they get recycled, but being very realistic into where these garments do end up, they perform much better at the end of life.
Right, okay, I think we have time for one more. What are your key bottlenecks?
Funding.
Short and simple. In which case, we do have time for one more question. Is there another one to come through? No, I think that's the last question in. Yes, we do. What is manufacturing scale-up plan? What's your manufacturing scale-up plan?
Sure. So we're scaling up in Europe as we speak. The one thing that we need to scale in-house is our protein and pigment production. So post-fundraise, we'll be scaling that up in-house. And then we need to start scaling in Asia as well. So onboarding the right partners in Asia. We've started that already, just to be able to hit that scale.
Fantastic. Thank you. That brings us to time.